It's a Bitcoin podcast. The only one that's making your money is you. Listen to the Bitcoin podcast. So hold on and listen to the Bitcoin podcast.
Yo.
Yep.
Yo.
That's such a weird Photoshop of your background. Welcome to the show, everybody.
Hey guys, welcome to the Bitcoin podcast. I'm the host that talks first. D.
There you
I
go.
got my name.
I am the host that talks second, Dr. Corey Petty.
And I'm the third host, Jesse Broke.
That's right. And today we have a fourth guest host, my dog's right eye. What's up, Lando? Lando Calrissian back there. Handsome puppy. No, welcome to the show, guys. I wish we were different than everybody, but we're not. We're just better. What we're going to do today, besides yawn in your face, is we are going to do four things. The first thing we're going to do is explain to you guys what the fuck's going on with the Dad DAO lot. The second thing we're going to do is prognosticate. I think that's the word. Prophesize. Fortune tell. About what's going to
Proselytize has
happen.
nothing to do with fortune telling.
We're gonna make educated
Sometimes, like,
guesses
converting
as to the
people.
outcomes of 2022, the year 2022 of our Lord. And then we're gonna talk about how Corey's hair defies gravity naturally.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's cool.
Like,
And then
does that.
the-
That's how I sleep. Like, does this.
Nuh-uh. No, like that?
Yeah,
You actually...
I don't do this. Does that when I sleep.
and then, it looks like you walk really fast. It looks aerodynamic. And then the fourth
It's
thing,
the faux hawk that naturally happens because I sleep on both sides of my head.
and then the fourth thing that we'll do is, wait a second, pause. So your body naturally knows how to stop sleeping halfway and turn to the other side of your head so that you get a perfect
I don't know, I
faux
just
hawk.
wake up this way.
The fourth thing we're gonna do
I'll
is
help it
kinda
out a little bit.
explain to you guys what you can look forward to from us in the year 2022. So let's get it started. Joe says your hair is
Joe's already starting it. There you go.
Yes. Deepest, bluest. My head is like a shark's fin. That's LL Cool J, circa 1999. Deep blue sea. So, anyways, cool. Jesse, we need to talk about Dad DAO, man. We need to talk about what's going on in
Okay.
Dad DAO. Some
Okay.
people think it's DAO DAO. They say, "Is this DAO DAO? And is this the second version of the DAO?" And we're like, "I don't know how you are reading, but no, the Dad DAO, right?"
Mhm.
So it's going swimmingly. We're hitting some milestones, right? We got Discord bots going. We got
You're
got
good at
people
this.
coming in, people joining up, people asking us what's the DAO. So if I had to ask you, Corey, you've heard us talking about it. What is that DAO to you, Mr. Petty?
Well, since I'm not as in the project as you are today, because I'm
Mhm.
dealing with a bunch of real life shit that is taking me away from paying attention to things.
Gotta hate real life, you know.
It is a organization built on top of Algorand for investing into projects.
And
Like
learning.
a decentralized organization for investing into projects.
That's pretty close. That's almost spot on, right? So yeah, it's a decentralized incubator built on top of Algorand. Built for Algorand by Algorand. That's right. FABA is what they call it.
I'm pretty sure we could rip off some clothing line to
Yeah.
make
Yeah. FABA DAO. No,
Just close some vowels.
so Dad DAO is a project that Jesse and I have been working on, pretty vehemently over the past, I don't know, month. What did you say, Jesse? Month? It's been a solid month.
Bit Been at least a month. Yeah.
Solid month. And what we're trying to do is create a pension for dads. What does that mean? Is that, there's a lot of hard work that goes into building out projects from the space. From small projects like, I don't know, putting a connect to wallet button on some networks, application, whatever, to very large projects like this one, where it's actually a DAO that's going to be kind of automated. We're trying to make it as automated as possible, right? And those are the tokens, actually. They're going to be NFTs. And the NFTs grant you access into the Discord, and without having the NFT, you can't get in the Discord. Now, obviously, right now, we want everyone to join the Discord. In
Can't get
fact,
in
why not?
unless you have the NFT. Can't get in. You can get in now.
We can get in now, right? And if you do get in now, you'll get early access to mint the NFT, right? And this is just the start with this NFT. Obviously, it'll give you access to the Discord where all the development and all the discussion is taking place. But later on, there will be a token attached, obviously. And by holding this token, you will be able to vote on whether projects get funded. We call them working groups, right? And the working groups basically can propose whatever they like to the DAO, and the holders of the token get to vote on whether they get funded and by how much by the treasury of the DAO. Right, so like an incubator, and we're really trying to establish a community of dads. Like, you don't have to be a
What's a
dad
dad?
to be a dad.
What's a dad?
What is a dad? That's a good question. Jesse, I'm gonna let you take this one. What do you think a dad is?
You can read up the doc. Hold on. Where's that
Don't be
document?
pulling up docs.
That's
Speak from
a
your heart,
terrible
Jesse.
podcast.
Speak from my heart.
Terrible podcast, Jesse said.
All right.
Read the docs.
So what is a dad? Well, I can't really
Yeah.
say what a dad really is because
What's
I'm
a dad
not
to you, Jesse?
To me, a dad's somebody who kind of watches over you, kind of tells you you're doing something wrong or you're doing something right, right? He kind of points you towards resources where you can kind of figure out what's best for you, right? At the end of the day. And they can help you, dads are like, their parents. They help you financially, help scoot you around in the right places, right? They put you, they buy a good home, hopefully, in a good place where there's a good school, set you up for success, basically, right?
Yes.
So,
yes.
I mean, that's essentially what a dad is in the dad DAO. People are coming to set you up for success because, everybody's vested, right? By working in projects together on teams or by, every aspect of the dad DAO, I guess, you can get involved in that doesn't have to be project building. There's many different roles you can take that aren't like developer roles. You can work as an artist. You can do like other stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, it's simple. Dads own dealerships, right? And that's
Okay.
no, I'm kidding. It's a joke. It's a little Aqua Teen Hunger Force joke for you guys out there. No, like Jesse said, right? Crypto is growing exponentially in many, many different ways, right? And it's going to be tougher and tougher to find good information, to find good guidance, to find a place that you can just not only hang out, but learn while you hang out. And that's what we want the dad DAO community to be, right? And there's also lots of fun dad jokes if you like dad jokes. I'm a fan of dad jokes. I don't know about you guys. I'm a big fan. Right.
I've been ripping dad jokes for a while now.
We're gonna be ripping and tearing the dad jokes in there. And
That's not a dad joke. That's disgusting.
I think it is. I think that is ripping and tearing is pretty X-rated, so that's not a dad joke. But nevertheless, hey, go to the link. Right? Should we put a little banner up here? Can I write a little banner going on? Can I put a little comment action in here?
You can do whatever you want.
Daddao.org.
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a little daddao.org going on action here. Hold on, let me create this real quick.
Still think we should try to get Masego to do like a dad now.
That would be awesome. I'm down for that. That song is awesome.
We have an in.
There we go.
With Masego. Yeah.
We do.
Can he do the song for Dad DAO?
Dad DAO. That's what it would sound like. Dad DAO. That's Masego. Dad DAO. Daddao.org. Anyways.
Is there something else people should know? Why is my video gone to shit?
I don't know. He's moving in slow motion right now.
Extra slow motion.
That's creepy. That got creepy. All right, so let's get on with the other thing. 2022 is around the corner, man. What's crypto gonna do? All right, Jesse, I know you think it's gonna be a bear market, right?
I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, but this is the time where you get to act like you know, so people
Oh, okay.
can.
This is the point.
People
This is
Oh.
this is prognostication station.
Yeah, this is where you act like you know.
Oh, okay.
Did I do enough claps there?
Okay. Yeah. So, like, are we talking about like the end of 2022, the beginning of 22, the
All
like,
of 2022. Just give your
What
best.
is what's going to happen in 2022, Jesse?
This is where we out bit boy.
from a price standpoint,
From
purely
whatever
price?
standpoint, your standpoint, from what do you think is going to happen?
From my standpoint, I'm gonna learn a shit ton over the next year. I'm hoping I'm gonna learn a shit ton, and who the fuck
That's not
cares
what's
what
gonna
price
happen.
does? Like,
Well, that is gonna happen. I've seen Jesse consume.
You do that every year. That's
well, that's
weak.
not,
Stupid.
but it's not like as deep, right? I'm going deep.
What's
Right.
deep?
That means like I'll be able to develop stuff in crypto, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So
By
that's
develop, you
that's,
mean like
that's
smart
22.
contracts? Do you mean tooling
That means
around smart contracts?
Everything, dude.
Okay.
Everything. I want to get my hands on everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you can't have everything, bro.
Well, I know,
You can.
but I'd like to.
You can. Don't let your dreams be dreams.
No, but D's right. You know, just like there are like people who just do front end specifically, like you were talking about before. I mean, that's true. They like
Well,
that.
I'm
and they
somewhat
get
of a
deep in
generalist.
Jesse's gonna be like
Yeah.
Birdman over here when it comes to crypto.
that. What does that mean?
Well, look, he wants it all. Obviously,
Oh.
what you
He's
do when
excited.
you want.
This is Jesse looking at the new
I was like,
year.
that's exactly how I walk up when it's my time to place my order at Chipotle. Exactly. That's exactly. Let me get that orange tortilla, baby.
I don't think
Exactly
I've
what I
ever
said.
been to Chipotle.
You never been to Chipotle?
Really?
Not once.
You've had Chipotle though.
I don't even think I've had Chipotle.
Wow.
That's an exciting
Maybe
feat.
once. I maybe had Chipotle once.
Have you had Freebirds?
Oh, yeah, of course.
What's that?
Then you've had Chipotle.
No. Let's not play that game. Chipotle is not
Okay.
Freebirds. They didn't have queso until like last year. Okay.
All right. 2022, baby, here we come. Bitcoin gets a spot ETF. Ether gets a futures ETF. Ether gets even slower and whacker until E2.0 comes. And then a bunch of people don't know how to use it, so it's slow to get adoption, but it will gain adoption. Probably roughly at the same rate that the Bitcoin Lightning Network is gaining adoption, but it's more useful than the Lightning Network, so maybe just a little bit faster. All right. The top 10 is going to return to sanity, not return. Return's not a thing, but it should be. The top 10 is going to return to sanity. And what I mean by top 10, I'm talking about the market caps. Even though market cap is a vanity metric, I'm just saying that it's going to return to tokens that actually do something and can do something. Dogecoin's out of there. Is it already out of there? Didn't Dogecoin just get zipped out?
I don't know. Maybe.
Hold on, what did that comment say? I don't even know what it said.
Talk about
Wayne
Chipotle
said-
bowls.
Yeah. Wayne's saying Chipotle is better. Wait,
There
no,
we
they're
go.
not.
Step down from
Yeah.
Freebirds.
Wow.
Step down for
Interesting.
Freebirds. Freebirds is most definitely.
Look up Freebirds.
All right. So Dogecoin's going to get knocked out. Shiba, these meme coins, I think they're going to go the way of the dodo bird because they really only came to fruition because of meme stocks, which was GameStop that kind of started it all, and then AMC, and then, I think once the stock market starts to return to a little bit of normalcy, so will these meme coins. They'll get out of there. I think Solana's going to drop down to lower the top 10. I gotta say price stuff because honestly, that's what people wanted to hear anyway. So just give it to them. Just give it a little bitty taste. I think if Ethereum isn't careful, it's gonna end up sounding I think if the community of Ethereum isn't careful, it's gonna end up sounding a whole lot like the community of Bitcoin does these days. Which I don't know.
What's that sound like?
I mean, I think the community of Bitcoin maxis, we'll call them, are just. I don't know. They're very ossified, and there's a whole lot of nothing going on with Bitcoin. And
Who posted that?
I wouldn't say it's a scam. I wouldn't
Why
say
are you
Bitcoin is a
posting
scam.
that?
But I'm not putting that. I haven't put that. Lisa put that.
Alicia put
but-
that there.
Yeah, she's the producer. She's just throwing random shit over there. Like we gotta react to it. It's like a game every week. No. I'd say that it's a whole lot of word play. What the Bitcoin does is a whole lot of word play and a whole lot of mouth action for not a whole lot of development going on. Now I know there's a lot of Bitcoin people be like, "What are you talking about, bro? Look at the what?" And I'm here to tell you, like, look at what. I mean, it took like 3 years to get Schnorr signatures started. Taproot's just now going. I haven't seen anything worthwhile that creeping through the Bitcoin
Here's a
Twitter.
question about that. Like, what if it just didn't do anything from here on out? Is it still worthwhile?
It is. I think so.
I think it is.
All right. So why do they need to do something? Why is there a metric for its value based on what it?
Well, I'm talking to the
improves?
community themselves. Like, that's a good point to be in, right? Like, whenever you're so awesome that you don't even have to say it or do anything, then just that's it. Just do that. Like, why be so loud on Twitter? Why be so vocal? Why be so forward about talking about things that just aren't going to happen anytime soon? Just be like, yeah, okay, well, we're doing all right. We got a futures ETF. We got countries giving us legal tender. Like, we're just gonna shut up and just wait, you know. And so, but they don't do that. They're very loud and very loud. And so, but I guess it's people protecting their bags, you know. More and more. I think DeFi has another upswing in 2022. I think that.
What's a DeFi upswing in 22 look like? That's a broad statement.
Well, I mean, like, there was this rush of DeFi projects making people not only a lot of money, but also making crypto cool, right? I think the thing that happened this year that's unique to all the years prior is two things came out of crypto that were finally cool. And I know you hate when I say that, Corey, but like, it matters, right? The shit's got to be cool or no one's going to use it, right?
Yeah, people need to use something, and they're not going to use it unless they want to.
Yeah, and so
I think this cycle is mainly they combine NFTs with like DeFi, right? Even you guys got stuck into the chicken stuff, right? That's basically what Axie
absolutely.
Infinity is. The market cap of that is like almost 10 billion. That's that's an application that built its own blockchain, right?
That's so a prediction coming out of left field right there.
Oh my god.
Rise, chicken, rise. I mean, I think. Sorry, I interrupted you, Jesse. Go on. You're talking Maxi.
No, I'm just, if we're talking about Bitcoin, I think it's fine where it is. It's just, it goes up slowly in value because everybody sees it as a store of value. But then, like, if people want to build, like, I don't know, just web apps that use the blockchain to store, you know, state data, or just basically use a blockchain for the database feature, that's kind of like decent to like write important things that are going on, then I mean, Ethereum's not what people are going to use, right? It costs too much. So like, there are alternatives out there that are better. So
yeah,
better, you mean faster and cheaper?
Yeah.
But like you always say, Corey, are they faster and cheaper, or just faster and cheaper because their bucket is
For
empty?
now. Avalanche is doing a really good job of having a C chain that's a efficient EVM implementation, but its state growth is quite fast. So, like, at some point, running a node that manages the C chain is going to be hard to do if it continues to grow at the rate it is, and pruning doesn't happen. So, like, some of the stuff, I think what we're going to see in 2022, if I had to put my hat on now, and do you listen to me, is a lot of these side chains will start to get more adoption. Some of them are going to fail miserably and suck. Some of them are going to gain enough adoption such that they become the thing they tried to replace, and they're not worthwhile, and that'll happen slowly. And some are probably going to excel and do a really good job what they set out to do. I'm not going to place bets on which one that is yet. The same thing for the side chains, to be honest. Not side chains, but like alternative L1 EVM implementations. What you're also going to see is something novel, and that is subnets on Avalanche will happen. And some of those will not be an EVM. Some of them will be either a copy of a different blockchain or a port of a different blockchain, or a completely new type of data structure to come to agreement on altogether. So I think you'll see a proliferation of subnets next year on Avalanche, which is going to bring a lot of attention to that platform because nothing else.
How are they going to
currently doing
incentivize
it.
subnets? That's my question. And
That's
then
a good
also,
question. It depends on what comes out, right?
yeah,
It's like they incentivize them based on whatever token is associated with that subnet, and the validators make money off it. Validators can validate any subnet they want under the fee structure of whatever that subnet offers them.
economically, why would somebody submit themselves to like cross communication costs denominated in AVAX? Do you say AVAX or AVAX?
But they can do whatever I say. Opposite.
AVAX. So, subnet to subnet, do you need AVAX? So why would they do that versus use
under
their own
under
blockchain?
the construction of what the network already does? You're going through the X chain. Yes, you need AVAX for that.
Yeah, so that's what my question is. Why wouldn't people just spin off their own, alt L1 like people are doing right now?
Well,
And
that's
just
a good
continue
question.
to do that.
Good question. Probably is because the validator pool of Avalanche is large. So you get bootstrapped by that network.
But it's 1,200. It's 1,200 nodes. But most alt L1s, like the major alt L1s that are not considered EVM re-implementations, they're all around the same nodes, like 1,000, 2,000 nodes.
Then we may eventually see. I'm curious what that saturation is, right? So like, what's at what level, at what point does a new L1 get created and it doesn't get that level of nodes? And then people have to kind of start picking and choosing what nodes they run on the different layers to then make money off of, right? Because if proof of stake becomes the default of how all these networks operate, it's much cheaper and the access is much easier to get the hardware required to run a node on these things. Because running a node on a proof of work network is gated by getting access to the hardware, whether that be GPUs or ASICs. When that's no longer the case and it's just commoditized hardware or cloud instantiations, then you can ostensibly run all of them. So like, is that going to be something that ever happens, or is it just they're all going to have whatever the maximum profitable number is if each of these networks is profitable? I don't know. But like, you're going to see a lot of like layer 1 wars in terms of like the layer 1s or layer 2s for that matter, trying to incentivize projects to build on them and not something else. And they're going to pay for it. So if you're building a project, get a layer 1 or layer 2 to pay for it. Don't pay for it yourself.
That's some sage wisdom right there.
How does the, like, for instance, different virtual machines, like let's say Algorand's AVM, if that were to get folded underneath a subnet within Avalanche, aren't there patents protecting the AVM from being in that situation?
Not on the Avalanche network. I don't know what their patent actually. I don't think the patent has anything to do with the AVM whatsoever.
Okay.
Anyone can take that and you run more with it, and it has benefits associated with it, like pruning, and it's a DAG, so you can do a lot of other things you can't do on something like the EVM. And it allows the Avalanche consensus protocol to operate much faster because it isn't constrained by synchronicity that the EVM has. So you can do more transactions per second. You can prune. You can do a bunch of other interesting things that you can't do on the EVM. Also, it doesn't have smart contracts. So
wait, which one doesn't have smart contracts?
the AVM. It's more of a transfers. Like currently in its initial implementation, it's mostly transfers.
It has smart contracts.
AVM?
Yeah.
AVM?
We're talking about two different AVMs.
There's one AVM.
Algorand.
Oh, okay. I'm talking
an AVM.
about the Avalanche.
That's what I know.
Different naming.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
Well, yes, Avalanche has smart contracts. That is good. You could re-implement that on top of.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Like, doesn't Algorand have like a patent on their virtual machine?
I don't know if they do. Good question.
Yeah.
I wouldn't use it if they did.
I would be curious if they didn't, and then how that would be, in my mind, throw that in a subnet in Avalanche.
Sure. I'm curious to see when that starts to happen, because it will.
Yeah.
What the pushback is.
Yeah. That would be interesting.
Also, the next larger thing I think will happen next year is proliferation of the concept of social crypto. And that's kind of what Wade said in the comments here. He said 2020 DeFi, 2021 was NFTs, 2022 was DAOs, and I generalized the DAO concept to social crypto, and that is the focus is the community, and the tokens is the entrance and access control to that community. And so you build a lot of tooling, and a lot of attention is spent on what the community is doing. And the representation of that community is whatever tokens are associated with it, whether it be an NFT collection, a token, like a fungible token, like an ERC20 or whatever, or a combination of those things. And so it's more of a focus on that community and tooling, like voting, access control, so on and so forth, and like fund management, so on and so forth. And how does this community manage a group of funds automatically that isn't just like we made a snapshot vote and then Carl or some pseudonym on the internet actually does the transaction on the blockchain? It's going to be the vote initiates the thing. But I think those types of toolings will become a larger proliferation, and DAOs that are managing these groups of funds will happen this, and then maybe, just maybe, we'll see stronger connections to real world companies with DAOs.
Could I want to see like the real. I want to see, like, I don't care about TikTok and social media stuff, but I want to see a point where you can build that on a blockchain and it's cost effective in terms of building a profit or making a profit using the tools available, which I don't know if it's at that point yet. Blockchains in general.
What do you mean?
I think that like you couldn't use Ethereum to build Instagram or TikTok on.
Oh no.
Yeah. So like I want like
It'll be
a
its own
blockchain
thing,
for
right?
data.
Just like application specific blockchains, kind of like what
That's what
Xfinity did, right?
I see. I think one of the things I see in 2022 that might come out of left field is positive foundational regulation for crypto in the U.S. That's what I see. I see.
What does that look like? I don't know what that looks like.
Maybe acceptance of an ETF.
I don't know. I'm not a
You want to say
lawyer.
that?
No, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know what that looks like. But I will imagine and can see where, like, next year, I open my Bank of America app, and they're like, "Do you want to buy and sell crypto inside of my Bank of America app?" That's what I'm envisioning, and there will have to be
that is a sign that there's a lot of understanding and ability to assess risks from a regulatory standpoint if something like that is happening.
Yeah.
Like if you're buying crypto and managing it within your banking application, then there's clear guidance on how to manage crypto as a business. Because if they're doing it, like they're not going to do it unless they're very comfortable with the level of risk associated with it and their customers. So that means that it's easy to find guidance on building a company and doing it with crypto if that's happening, which is something I'm all for. Because building a business and accepting crypto, paying taxes is a fucking nightmare, at least in America.
Yeah, it's all a nightmare, but I feel like it's going to get easier because they're going to want to seek value out of it. Obviously, it's got a lot of value that's not going away. I mean, we got a $2.5 trillion market. I don't know how many tens of trillions get traded on a daily basis or on a weekly basis. I think that, you'll open your Chase app, your Bank of America app, your Wells Fargo app, and you'll see a little, hey, buy, sell, hold crypto. And the only thing that is in the way of that is some hefty foundational regulation, probably.
Do you see that as a stepping stone to banks changing or us not needing banks? Or do you see it as a stepping stone to banks take over?
I just see it as banks getting in the game. I think it's something like that. They're gonna be at a can't beat them, join them kind of situation, and that tech is just so much better. Like the tech of blockchain tech is just a lot better than what banks use right now. Right? It's so much better that they're in a can't beat them, gotta join them kind of way, and they're gonna have to cannibalize some of their own businesses just so they can get in the pool and start winning. Right? Nothing's gonna prevent them from creating their own financial products. Right? So either that the government gives the kibosh to a set of stable coins or a stable coin that currently exists, or the huge banking industry that is in the US comes together and builds a stable coin that they can now proliferate out into the
Ether.
the ether. That was a good one. But I see that happening. Like something's gonna happen, and I do like yes to crypto's theory that that's how ultimately they get a wrangle on crypto, is by incentivizing people to hand over their crypto for whatever the currency is that they want to give them.
What do they do with it then? Use it as collateral for the thing that they're making?
Hold it. I don't know. Like, what do you do with if you can't control something, what's the next best thing? At least knowing where it is, right? So if they know they can't really control Bitcoin, can't control Ether, but if they can incentivize people to hand it over and then stick it on a shelf, then there you go. Then that's quote unquote control.
Why can't somebody just recreate Bitcoin? And everybody just goes, all right, we're going to do it again.
Well, then.
Oh, they've tried that 1,000 times already.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like if everybody, like, let's say the majority of
Exactly,
people holding Bitcoin gave it to the government, I'm sure that there will be.
Oh, I'd be curious
within
to the
Bitcoin
backlash of like that.
I would be like, fuck that. We're going to make another.
Well, they
Bitcoin.
wouldn't make a new one. They just transfer over to a different coin that already
Sure,
exists that has
whatever.
an established base. Because like, think about Bitcoin that exists. Like, it can't happen again. Bitcoin in its current instantiation can't happen again, and that's because Bitcoin only exists because its security model is too big to attack. And if you start a new chain the way Bitcoin did, it would be buried into the ground immediately based on controlling hash power.
What?
It was ignored for long enough to get big enough so that it can't be messed with. And that's when the real value started growing, was because it got to the point where a lot of the things it was claiming to be in terms of a security model actually were true. Or like it became economically infeasible to take over the chain as a nation state or something. And so that can't happen
from the US.
What?
If the US wanted to like 51% attack Bitcoin, it could though. No?
They need to get access to a lot of hardware that is controlled by individuals that would not do that.
I didn't know that it reached that point. What's the total computation?
That's almost one of the benefits of specialization of hardware. That's like, if you want to call it, there's pros and cons of how specialized ASIC mining is. That's kind of one of them. That because the appropriate hardware to mine Bitcoin is so specialized, getting access to it in order to do a 51% attack is infeasible, and you'd see it happen. Now, mining pools, you could maybe argue you could start to form a cabal on, and if they can get access, because like with China having such a large portion in the past of all of the mining through mining pools was a threat because of how much control the CCP has over every business inside of China.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's no longer the case because they banned it outright and they got redistributed to the rest of the globe, I think it's less likely that something like that can happen again because of the less of a straight dictatorship that exists amongst the mining pools and where their jurisdiction is.
So what I'm getting at is like you're just saying that we're all gonna submit Bitcoin for CBDC. What makes that different than everybody submitting gold for dollars back in 1974 or whatever?
I mean, if you get a good return on it, and at the end of the day, if the only way you can pay your taxes or live your life is through whatever this CBDC is, or like people got to pay their taxes,
Mhm.
period. And if a lot of people have small amounts of crypto, and then they can 10x that, 2x that for some fiat coin, and they don't have the ideology of Bitcoin and
They're
like
gonna do it.
self-sovereign money, they're going to do it. There's no reason for them not to do it because it allows them to live their life better because they don't have this strong ideology that keeps them from doing such a thing.
Yeah,
That would
like
be a lot
Jesse,
of money,
imagine
though,
you're
don't you
somebody
think?
who
Fuckload of money.
imagine you're
So, like,
somebody.
that just means you're diluting the supply, the M0 supply of everybody in America, right?
What do you mean?
Well, like if I say for every Bitcoin that you give me, like say market price of Bitcoin is like 50K, I'm gonna give you $500,000 CBDC, like a USDC version.
Oh yeah, that's being hyperbolic. I don't think anyone's going to do that. Like the government's not going to do anything like that.
Exactly. But that's what they did with gold back in 1974, right? They gave you the face value worth of gold, market value worth of gold. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
you,
market value. They didn't 10x it, right? Like
yeah. So
that's a fair exchange. So
That's
like
what Wayne is talking about.
If it has an additional function, like
Mhm.
you can pay your taxes, or you can go to the grocery store and use this thing because the government produces a bunch of applications or whatever, then you're more likely to do it because maybe at the same time they ban the use of Bitcoin.
Mhm.
And like or like they make it more difficult to file your taxes through the use of Bitcoin because they treat it like a commodity. And the other one may not be. And so like there's a lot of interesting, I think, levers that a government can do to disincentivize the use of something like Bitcoin and drastically incentivize the use of whatever their fiat token is, Fed coin, whatever you would call it, such that they have stronger control over the crypto economics of their jurisdiction.
What's the difference between America doing that, China doing that?
I think America is a little less likely to assert a specific level of power over their people.
But they did in 1974. You got arrested.
Yeah, I'm not
You got
saying
jailed.
it can't happen.
Yeah, I'm just wondering because
We're
like I
saying
think
it's less
everybody
likely because China's like outright doing it and overt
Yeah.
about it, and
Yeah.
at least America tries to pretend they're not doing it.
Yeah, exactly. They try to pretend they're not doing it. I think is the point.
But everybody knows they're doing it. What's
Right.
the pretending?
Yeah, but we have a lot of people that don't like it and will fight for it. I think we have more people here that don't like it and will fight for it in the event that it gets past a certain threshold.
Yeah.
We'll
I don't
see. I don't think it's happening in
2020
2022 though.
2022 is going to be an interesting year. I think that there was a lot of heat over what Jack Dorsey was putting out on Twitter about like how a lot of crypto is just owned by venture capital right now. Or I would venture to say that DeFi and this DeFi and NFT push is big time venture capitalism at play. Like for example, OpenSea is it's a Gary V and sorry, OpenSea
Mark Cuban.
is Mark Cuban. Rarible is Gary
Yeah.
V, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Those guys are huge venture capitalists. So they're making infinity money off of all this NFT garbage. And now Mr. Wonderful's in on it too. He's got an NFT market that he ventured that everybody now knows he was a seed investor of. And so I don't think that those three people that the kind of investors they are means they don't care at all about NFTs, what they're capable of, what they can and can't do. They only really care that this is another way for them to make a boatload of money and look like geniuses, right? Because it's part of their brand. They want to look like the person that knew before anyone
Well, they're
else.
making bets on future use and their ability to take advantage of establishing the infrastructure now. Why they're building companies like this that become the standard of operations so that they have a percentage of what they think the future will look like.
Yeah. So
that's smart.
It's really smart.
It is.
But they don't have,
not
they don't-
everybody
they don't
has
have
the
the
capital
ethical
to
ideology
deploy.
that a lot of the crypto people do. They're in it to make money. They want
Right.
they want ownership of the entire ecosystem through ownership of the infrastructure that supports it. And that's for the sole purpose of extracting value from it, not
my bad.
like enabling people.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of this NFT stuff is really, it's hot doo doo. It's the hottest of doo doo too. Like, you take your dog out in the wintertime and they got it's the steam coming off of that doo doo chunk. That's a lot of the NFT space right now. So
How
I
much is
just
Mark
hope
Cuban worth?
Too much money.
Like how many billion?
billions,
So much
How
money.
many?
billions,
How many though?
man, billions.
Mhm.
I
How
don't
many?
know. I'm just gonna guess 37.
I stopped counting after $1 billion.
37?
Yeah, you don't need to count after one.
Well, no. There's a point that I'm curious to potentially make if it makes sense, which is the fact that there are a lot of VCs who took equity percentages in OpenSea,
Mhm.
and I think depending on how much we can speculate that he invested, there are bigger players than him.
He's worth an estimated $4.3 billion.
See, A16Z put 3 billion into the ecosystem. He can't put that much. He's a small fish. We think he's a big fish, but he's not.
He has a lot of influence, social influence.
He does. He
I'd
has a
say
lot
he
of
has more
social
social
capital.
influence than a 16Z.
Depends. Outside of
It
crypto,
depends, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's the reality, the red pill. It's that VCs own a lot of this.
Y'all watch the new
Uh,
Matrix?
I did.
I
I haven't
did.
watched
Let's
it.
talk.
I
No,
haven't,
let's talk about.
I haven't
some
watched
shit.
it yet.
Oh damn. Well, I'll give you. It's good. 2 thumbs up. I'm not just saying that because I love the Matrix. But I am saying that because it's good. Is it as good as Spider-Man? No. No, it is
Spider-Man's
not.
boring.
Are you fucking kidding me? Did you see the new Spider-Man?
No, I will. But the concept of Spider-Man is boring.
What are you talking about? He's a spider and a man.
A little kid.
The actor seems pretty cool.
I hear he's good.
Yeah, he does a good job. But I
I
mean,
haven't seen the outside
bro.
world in a while. I've been busy.
You mean there's nothing that connects with you about like swinging through New York City like freely?
Nah.
Dude, I used to play I played that PlayStation Spider-Man game for therapy. Like I would just turn it on and swing around New York City. It was great. It was amazing. Go to the top of Empire State Building, jump off, do some flips, swing around, punch a
Nobody
guy.
has time for that.
Yeah. Swing around, yo. That was good. I think there was a fourth thing we were gonna do. And then we can
Was
wrap.
there?
Yeah, the fourth thing was just talk about what we're doing in 2022. And then we can let y'all go enjoy your. So we got some things coming at you guys next year. So obviously the Dad Dow is something that we're working on really hard. Um, also, the Bitcoin podcast, as you know, the Bitcoin podcast is actually going to come to a conclusion.
No more.
That is right. After 6 years, it'll be 7 years. By the time we're done making episode 400, it'll be 7 years that we made
Last
the Bitcoin podcast.
episode of the Bitcoin podcast is
Episode
episode 400.
400, right? It's been great, but as you can see, it gets really, really hard to justify a name like the Bitcoin podcast every week when, quite frankly, we're just interested in more things now. Bitcoin is great, and I know that makes a lot of people upset, but I have a lot of interest in Avalanche. I have a lot of interest in Algorand. I'm still really interested in Ethereum 2.0 whenever that gets up and running. I like what's going on with some of the layer twos right now, not all of them. There's just more things that interest me more now at this point in my life than just money. Um, so, I'm kind of moving away from Bitcoin, and then the Bitcoin podcast, nobody's going to understand the capital B, lowercase b thing anymore. In fact, I run into people that have been in the space just as long as we have, Corey, and they still don't know the uppercase B, lowercase b situation. And, there's just, we want to move on. And so, Corey, I'll let you tell everybody how we're going to be rebranding and what we're moving towards.
Okay. Well, the overall brand is going to be hashing it out. Hashing it out will be absorbing what is currently known as the Bitcoin Podcast Network. And we think it's a better brand for the type of things that we talk about, considering it's getting down to the details of technical things. So the current type of podcast that Hashing Out is will have that. I think we'll do some type of sub-series where we maintain this nonchalant infotainment format that we currently have for the Bitcoin podcast, but having something like Hashing It Out as a brand is much more realistic to what we talk about. We try to figure out what's going on across the entire ecosystem, not just Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see where it goes from there. And I think it's just a better way for us to brand ourselves, start fresh, and bring this community along with us to keep growing this thing, just kind of realign it to what we care about, what we talk about, and where things are going.
Absolutely. I'm excited to join the Hashing It Out marketing stuff, but I'll definitely let you lead that conversation.
I think we just have so much more fun with the concept of like hashing it out, because it's having conversations and arguments, right? People getting together and coming to an agreement. That's one figure of speech associated with hashing it out. The other one is
technical objective debates.
And then there's that, right? It's like, let's
that.
get deep into technical issues on why things work, why you think they work this way, why you think it's going to fix things, etc. So like, you can take the term hashing it out and put it in multiple different directions. You can't do that with the Bitcoin podcast. Most of our negative comments on the brand is we don't talk about Bitcoin.
Yeah,
like because we talk about things that are bigger than Bitcoin. Bitcoin's included in them, and so it's just better. And so I think we all agree.
Yeah,
we have agreed that this is a better way to go, and that's what we're doing.
The network will still run, so you can still find an FTQT. You can find a show that should be launching anytime once we get our ducks in a row, called Securium, right? Not the show?
Securium. So Rajiv will probably start to publish his interviews with mentors. Securium.
Yep.
Are those going to be technical interviews, or are those going to be like surface level? Sweet.
Mike sounds so much better when you actually talk into it, Jesse.
When I'm closer, okay.
Yeah.
You get it and make love to it, yes.
Yeah, you like that.
Yeah.
And then
you just made somebody's pants.
I got a new job. I'm no longer in security. So that's a big deal.
Look at what
the bigger than Bitcoin podcast.
TBTBP.
Wayne gets it.
That's good. Thank you, Wayne. We're so happy that you're always along for the ride. But yeah, episode 400 will be the last one of the Bitcoin podcast, and then it's on the Hashing It Out by TBPN. So yeah, we're excited to have you guys on for another year. It's hard to believe that we've been doing this almost for 7 years now, Corey. Holy cow!
Do it for another 7.
That's not a little bit of time.
If in 7 years we're the same distance from where we are now than where we started, then we're doing okay.
What if we just do so well that slowly we actually end up in the same city and have a studio, and like, what if that happens?
I'm going to move to North Carolina because I ain't moving again.
Yeah, that's right.
We got enough land. We can make it happen.
Yeah, that's true.
We got 50 acres. We got 50 acres and I'm buying more.
Okay.
So that's it. We're looking forward to bringing you guys those things in this next year. First and foremost, look out for the dad DAO, because that's moving. We're cooking with grease now, Jesse. Yeah. Well, I feel it. I feel the grease popping, baby. Hotter than fish grease, baby. That's what they say in the South, right? Throw a little water into it, get a little crackle. You know what I'm saying? Throw a little black pepper
water onto hot oil.
That's how you know it's done. That's how you know it's ready.
You put a wooden spoon in the bottom, then it's
not what I do.
It's less dangerous.
I pour a cup of water in my oil to make sure that it's ready.
Okay.
Oh my God!
Enjoy
Nobody, please don't try that at home.
Second-degree.
No one do that. Don't pour water in your oil. But I do I put a little bit in my hands and I flick it in the pan.
That's how you know it's hot enough.
Yeah.
Jesse does it the whole official but chef way. Chefery. That was what was going to come out of my mouth.
Put a wooden utensil.
Yeah, you put a wooden spoon.
What does a wooden utensil do?
It'll
crack and popple because it's got moisture in it.
Yep.
Nah, dude, just right there, flat out water.
That's what I'm talking about. Corey knows the gangster way. Jesse, get your official chef stuff out of here.
Okay.
I like what you're talking about, Wayne.
You gotta have that token to get on the Corey's complex. These
No,
are
no,
facts.
y'all aren't coming to my place. Only people I know.
Oh, Wayne wants to know when TPP
Ledger
show
already leaked
airdrop.
this address, so I had to move. So we're not doing that again.
So, I don't know. Let's do our wrap up here. Alicia, I'm ready to guess who I'm giving shout outs to this week. No clue. Shout out to that guy. He oh, then
He's got
that's
some
Olivia.
makeup
That's
on.
Olivia Munn. She's I remember her all the way from G4 TV. She's a special lady. Shout out to her. Shout out to her. Shout out to John Mulaney, who is married to her now, or he got her knocked, I think. One of the two. I think one of the two. Shout out to Adele, who that is a very good picture of her, by the way. It's a
Is
very
it
good
though?
She's got a good profile.
No.
Shout out to that Star Trek.
Harold and Kumar guy.
Yeah, that's Harold from Harold and Kumar. It looks like his name is John. Shout out to Issa Rae. Do your thing, boo boo. I just watched the finale of Insecure. Amazing show. Congratulations to you on your come up. Is that the second coming of Old Dirty Bastard? Who is that?
That's the dude from what's it called? The Cowboy Bebop show.
Oh, that's Cowboy Bebop, Jet Black. Hey, shout out to him. Shout out to that guy. I'm never going to figure out who that is. He's got a very forgettable face. And shout out, oh, man, on episode 400. Will I still be able to shout her out on Hashing It Out, or is that a no-go? I'm pretty sure that's a no-go. So shout out to long neck and wide space, Zoe Saldana, Shamilton Vampire, Star Trek Sulu. Okay, so Harold is Star Trek Sulu. Shout out to you, Zoe Saldana. You never came on the show. You did get involved in a crypto scam in 2018, and I'm sorry about that. You should have came on the show. We could have told you not to get involved with that, but you did, and you got sued. Maybe before episode 400, you'll come on our show if anybody would let you know that we talk about you on a weekly basis. So, yeah. Anyways, that's it. That's all I got, guys. Oh, things. We got things that we do. Yeah, the things. Patreon. Yeah, go to the Patreon. Why do I do that every week? Go to the Patreon. Go to patreon.com, right? / the Bitcoin podcast. You'll find our show. You can become a patron. Obviously, that will do the Indiana Jones shift when we move over to TBPN and Hashing It Out. But you can still become a patron and get the things, early access to us in the patron channel of Slack, where you do get alpha leaks from Andy, and that go. Oh, by the way, join the Slack. Go to thebitcoinpodcast.com, push the button that says Slack, follow the directions. If you can't follow those directions, then we don't want to hang out with you. Point blank, period. What's next? What else do we do? What else we got going? Oh, on your podcast apps, if you're upset that we don't talk about Bitcoin, don't give us a review. Just stop listening to us. We'd prefer that, actually, not these 2-star reviews. These guys are terrible. In fact, if you're gonna leave a 2-star review, just make it a 1. What the hell
It's
is
probably
wrong
a
with
child, and they're not going to listen, so it doesn't matter.
you? Freaking
Move along.
sociopaths out here.
Move
Like, I'm gonna
along.
leave a 2-star review. All right. What else do we do? I think that's all the things, right?
No, don't worry about it.
What?
Happy New Year.
What ringtone was that, dude? Was that a ringtone?
That was a default ringtone. It's a happy one, dude.
Okay, it sounded like it's
That's-
working. Happy New Year, everyone. Another year of crypto. That's like 7 regular people years. So we're pretty old. So
49.
yeah, we've gone 49 crypto years. So deuces, everyone. Play the outro.